Ladies and gentlemen, happy Sabbath and welcome to Gachie Skyman TV, the tourist man back Africa. William Samoei Ruto is quiet. William Samoei Ruto is not addressing the doctor strike. He has deliberately decided not to say a word about what is happening to our health sector. Not even, in fact, looking at him, you would think that nothing is happening in this country. Looking at him, you would think that there is no crisis. You would think that mambo ni shwari. Why is he silent in the midst of crisis? Why has he decided not to address the health crisis? In this video, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at a number of reasons why the president has decided to use that approach. So if you are joining this channel for the first time, at this juncture, please subscribe if you have not subscribed to our channel, like our video, and leave a comment. Why do you think William Samoei Ruto has decided to keep quiet, in your view? Number one, according to me, is that William Samoei Ruto is not a skilled negotiator. A skilled negotiator would sit down with the people who are complaining. He will sit down with the workers and come up with a proposal. And it is that proposal that should be discussed. Leadership is about showing the way. Leadership is about showing the direction. Leadership is actually showing people what to do. In fact, good leaders are known during the time of crisis. If you want to know a good leader will always emerge when we have a crisis. Number two, William Samoei Ruto hopes that the strike will fizzle out by itself. Anafikiri ya kwamba watachoka na baada ya kuchoka watarejea kazini. One thing about William Samoei Ruto is that he has been into politics the longest. If you look at the people who are in government, I think he's the only one who has been into politics the longest, kwa sababu aliingia siasa akiwa kijana mdogo in 1992. William Samoei Ruto was in politics and he has been into politics for long. He saw Daniel Torre teach Moi handling the teachers' crisis. He saw Mwai Kibaki handling various strikes because he was the Minister for Agriculture. He also witnessed wakati wa Uhuru Mwai Kenyatta, wakati Uhuru alikuwa anakabiliana na migomo ya walimu. In fact, wengi walikuwa wakisema kwamba Uhuru ndiye ambaye alikuwa anajaribu kutatua matatizo mengi, lakini kulingana na wengi wadadisi wanasema ya kwamba William Samoei Ruto would always advise Uhuru Mwai Kenyatta not to intervene and just let the teachers continue their strikes. So that is why anaendelea tu kuangalia, and I think he's not even going to intervene anytime soon. Number three, in my view, is because he does not want to spend money. He doesn't want to give doctors money because akikaa na wao, kwa sababu akizungumzia lile swala, he must provide the way forward. And now that he doesn't want to spend the money, anaona jambo nzuri ni kunyamazia. William Samoei Ruto only believes in taxes, kwamba lazima watu walipe kodi, lakini hata baada ya kulipa kodi, hizi pesa zinaishia mifukoni ya wanasiasa. Hizi pesa zinaishia mifukoni ya wabunge, the senators, the governors, the cabinet. How ndio watu ambao wako ile kazi. Again, another thing is that maybe he expects them to go and work in the construction, kule zile nyumba, the affordable housing. Kwa sababu if you look at William Samoei Ruto, anasema kazi ni kazi. Uwe umesoma, uwe daktari, uwe mhandisi, engineer, uwe architecture, uwe nani, kazi ni kazi. Kwa hivyo anatarajia labda the interns will join kazi za Mjengo, waende wakajenge nyumba pale. But is this what they have been trained to do, ladies and gentlemen? Kwa sababu when you look at his pet project, William Samoei Ruto believes that the affordable housing project are the panacea to all the problems. They are the ones that are going to solve all the problems that are bedeviled in this country, from poor working conditions. Kwa sababu ukimsikiliza vizuri sana, anasema ya kwamba ikiwa watu watalipa zile pesa za kodi, if the people are not going to pay housing tax, then he will not be able to provide medicine in hospitals. Kuna wakati ambapo amesikika akisema hivyo. And this one tells you that William Samoei Ruto does not believe in professionalism. He doesn't believe in specialization. He believes kwamba yeye kila mtu anafaa kuwa na zile kazi. Again, when you look at William Samoei Ruto doesn't have much respect for professionals. He doesn't. And if there are people who I respect, they are the doctors. Doctors are known to save lives. Doctors are known to go beyond the call of their duty. A doctor will remain in office, if a patient is brought to hospital and the time to go home is imefika, atakaa pale, atamhudumia, contrary to the politicians and members of parliament, for example, who just go to parliament just to clock in, clock out, and then just to register their presence, and then they come out even without knowing what they are doing. Doctors don't do guesswork. Doctors are people who are professionals, who are trained to think, who are trained to solve problems. And this also applies to all professionals. But William Samoei Ruto does not believe in this. That's the problem of politicians. Most politicians do not respect professionals. And although themselves have been trained as professionals, like now, William Samoei Ruto is a trained botanist. Is it a zoologist or botanist? Whichever. But when you look at the way he treats professionals, it tells you that he only respects politicians. Kwa sababu yeye jambo lingine ambalo linajitokeza ni wazi kwamba unajua watu wanakufa. Ni kweli watu wanakufa. This tells you that William Samoei Ruto does not value life. He doesn't value life much. The truth be told. Because if it were the case, I think the priorities should be the doctors. I've said, when you look at William Samoei Ruto, his priorities are upside down. His priorities are wrong. The country needs doctors than it needs politicians. The doctors are very, very important as far as Vision 2030 is concerned. Now we are headed to Vision 2030, whereby we should have doctors who are well trained. We should have equipment in hospitals, well-equipped hospitals, better working conditions, and even there is the number that should be assigned to one doctor. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto, the Vision 2030 does not even mention it. Doesn't mention it. The country is headed in the wrong direction. So, again, sometimes I think he does not even remember that there is a strike, because ukiangalia utaona kwamba alikuwa amemtuma Felix Koskei, the herdsman of the executive, the guy who is a spin doctor at State House. Moses Kuria nasikia alikuwa pale. Then we have the clueless Susan Nakumicha, who does not differentiate the doctor, the nurse, and the clinician. To her, all of them are doctors. And mtu ambaye anajipiga kifua. You cannot use force to solve some of these things, because what is required here are negotiation skills. Negotiate with the doctors. Come up with the way forward. Otherwise, Kenyans are going to die. Come up with the way that is acceptable to the doctors. Doctors are human beings. But even if they are human beings, they have their irreducible minimums. And that is what they are asking for. And I think they are not asking for too much. They are not asking for too much. I don't know what will happen if people join this strike, because I can see people joining these strikes. And they started joining this strike. And if they join these strikes because people are feeling bad, who are feeling what is happening is the wrong thing, should happen. Having doctors on the street is very shameful for our country, Mr. President. Having doctors wakiwa wamevaa stethoscope, wakiwa pale na zile koti zao, sio surupwenye, tuziite tu koti, wakiwa pale na vipima joto vyao. It is something that doesn't augur well. Is the perception that other countries are having, especially our development partners, is that we are not doing the right thing. This country, I have always said, needs somebody who actually have a vision for this country. Without a vision like the one that Mwai Kibaki has, because Kibaki alikuwa na ruwaza, alikuwa na maoni, alikuwa anaona bali sana. Without that vision, then the leadership will always lead us in the wrong direction. That is my take, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, I always ask one thing: please like this video. When you like this video, YouTube will always recommend this to many viewers, to many people, and that way we are able to remain relevant. You are able to remain hapa tukizungumzia masuala mengi. Please give us a thumbs up and be very, very happy. Leave a comment and have a blessed Sabbath. Bye bye.